Let's talk about the basics of sewing two pieces together. You will need two pieces of felt that you want to sew together, a needle, and a piece of thread. The first thing you're going to do is make a knot at the end of your thread. So take one end, make a knot. The knot can be close to the end of the string. I like to do two knots to make sure that it does not go through my felt. So I'm going to make one more knot and make sure that it goes right on top of my other one. Like this. So now we have our thread with a knot on it. You're going to go all the way down to the other end of your thread, and you are going to put this part in the eye of your needle. The eye of the needle is that hole at one end of your needle. Make sure that all the pieces of your thread go through, and then pull it through the needle. You just have to pull it through about this much, maybe the size of your finger or a little bit longer. You just don't want it to fall back out through the eye of your needle. So you should have one long side that has your knot at the end, and then a short side of thread going through your needle. Now it's time to sew your two pieces together. The first thing that you always do is start underneath your felt. You never want to start on top of your felt because that means the knot will end up on top. You always want the knot to be hidden, which means that you always start sewing from the back side or underneath your piece. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it underneath my felt, and I'm going to poke it up where I want to begin. So a good starting spot is somewhere on the edge. So I'm going to pick somewhere on the edge to begin. So maybe I'll start right down here at the bottom edge. So I'm going to poke my needle through both pieces of felt like this, and then I'm going to pull my needle up and I'm going to pull this string all the way through. While I'm doing this, I'm holding both pieces together with my fingers so that they're not moving. So you have to make sure you're still holding this while you're pulling your thread all the way through until it won't come up anymore. That means that your knot is pulled up to the back of your felt and you're good to go. To make a basic stitch, you're going to go up and down and repeat up and down all the way along the edge of whatever you're trying to sew. So I already went up, so now I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to put it in the next spot where I want it, and I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go down through the top, and I'm going to pull my needle all the way through, and then I'm going to pull my thread until it is all the way through the back, like this. First I went up from the back, then I went down. Now I'm going to keep going up and down all the way around the edge of the heart, since that's what I'm sewing. So I went up through the back, now I'm going to go down through the front. I'm going to keep going all the way around, going up and down. When you sew two pieces together, you'll want to create this stitch, this up and down stitch, around the edge of whatever you're trying to sew. So I'm going to keep going all the way around the edge of the heart, and it will look like there is a dashed line around the outside of whatever you're sewing. That's how you know that you are doing it the right way. So I'm coming up and then down, and then up through the back, pull it down through the front. I'm repeating my up and down steps all the way around my heart. Once you get back to the beginning, again, it should look like you've got a dashed line all the way around the object that you are sewing together. If you ever put it up and it's not in the right spot, you can just pull your needle back out and try again. The last thing that you do should always be down. So I came up through the back, now I'm going to go down through the front. And it looks like I'm done because there's a dashed line of my thread all the way around my heart. Now that I'm done, I need to tie off my string. So I'm going to flip my piece over, whatever I'm sewing, to the back. And now I need to make a knot before I cut it. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to keep the thread on my needle and I'm going to use that to help me make a knot. Sometimes you'll make a knot and it's not very close to the edge of what you were sewing, so you need to keep making a knot until you get one that's nice and close to that edge there. Like that. And then you can take some scissors and snip off your thread. And then you are good to go.